Okay, last week this guy emails me out of the blue and he's like, hey man, I live on the east side of Madison just like you. Do you want a free computer? Otherwise I'm gonna throw it in the trash. And I'm like, oh heck yeah, I'll take a free computer. So we met at the nearby Quick Trip and he gave me this. A Texas Instruments TI-99/4A. So this was Texas Instruments 4A into... Sorry, I couldn't resist making that segue. This was their foray into making computer during the computer wars, and Texas Instruments should have done really well, but it actually was not super successful. So I guess this computer has a lot of weirdness to it, like it's a 16-bit CPU, but it only has like 256 bytes of scratch RAM, or I'm sorry, 256 words of scratch RAM. So it's actually in pretty nice condition. It kind of looks like a DeLorean. All right. So, what do I know about this computer? Well, let's see. Where was it made? It was made in America. America! Oh, which celebrity endorsed this computer? I want to say it was Bill Cosby. Oh no. Yeah, because William Shatner was the VIC-20. And then Alan Alda, I believe, was the Atari 8-bit line. So, yeah, sorry, Texas Instruments. Looks like you pulled a Subway on that one. All right, looks like the back kind of comes off. Power switch is a little weird. I have never taken one of these apart before. There appears to be a power module separate from the circuit board. Are they hiding a screw for it under this foot? Okay, what do you guys think? Yes or no? That would be really strange. And the answer is no. Okay. So what's, yeah, look at this. It's kind of like, what's holding that in place? Like the power switch? I don't want to break it. I assume that's the power switch in the front. Oh, I guess it was just stuck on there really good. Oh, I'm sorry, stuck on there really well. Oh, there's two pieces to the power switch? That's kind of weird. Well, this is obviously the power board because the power brick is going directly to it. Actually, where's the power brick? Oh man, this reminds me of the ColecoVision. 18 volts AC, 7.5 volts AC. Oh, you know what it probably is. This probably has, you know, the old RAM where it would be 12 volts to run it. I actually bought a spare keyboard for this computer. I mean, not for the computer, but I just wanted a, it has a cool keyboard. So I guess you would have, what would it be? 2 hots and a neutral if it's AC? It's kind of a weird configuration. Oh, now Bud's in his box. Just stay there, Bud. Yeah. I'm sure Bud wants to jump up. Oh, yeah, here he comes. Ah. Bud, are you trying to be on camera so you can be a star? I want to be a YouTube star. Look how big he's getting. He's Super Bud. Eat the computer. They made us eat the gold. You are what you eat. Yeah, Bud, you're really helping a lot up here. Oh, something just fell down there. That's kind of a short screw. Shorty, get our stuff. No more parachutes. We're not sinking, we're crashing. I watched that a couple weeks ago. My family was visiting. So I'm like, let's watch Temple of Doom. But you know, a lot of people who think that's their favorite Indiana Jones movie. For some reason, this was a machine screw. I guess after this failed, TI's like, well, I guess we'll corner the calculator market. Get all that juicy education money. Oh, that's fairly modular. Looks like we just got a, yeah, connector going to the keyboard. Oh, that's pretty simple. Oh, there's your cartridge slot. Let's see. Okay. I don't really know much about this computer. I mean, I know some things about it, but I don't know. But you know, no one really had this computer back in the day. Oh, that's interesting. Look, these... I have never seen that inside of a computer before. They got like machine screws holding the RF together. Got a lot of these clamps here. The clamps! Alright, I suppose I should take a picture of that. Oh, they got like screws on the end there. See that? Oh, they actually have a copper connector. Okay, so that's the ground shield for the expansion port. What'd you find down there, Bud? Bud likes to sit in garbage cans. He's like Trash Cat, like my sister's deceased cat, Trash Cat. She'd be like, oh no, I miss Trash Cat. Trash Cat was mean. It wouldn't even purr. I think I got it to purr like once. It would just be like, whereas Gus, I said Gus, whereas Bud, it's easy to make him purr. You just pick him up and pet him and he purrs. Whoa. Look at that. That must be a huge chip. That's probably the CPU. All right. What is that screw doing there? That's weird. Oh, this is well, it comes out like that. Interesting. Strange. There's nothing holding it in place. Oh, and there we go. Oh, those are heat sinks. Look at that. I bet one of them is for the video chip. So this has the quintessential TMS 9918. Holy cats! Well, that's going to be your CPU. Oh, look at the lovely bodge wires. Okay, so whatever that is has some heat paste on it. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. Oh, I mean, it's pretty clean. Okay, what can we see here? Well, this is clear. This is going to be the video RAM. I think what this thing does is it uses the video RAM as most of its RAM, which is kind of stupid. So the TMS 9918, it accesses 16K of RAM maximum. I don't know. Well, this thing probably has that much because when this came out, like 1980, so 16K of RAM in a computer would have been pretty normal. Yep, there it is. The TMS 9918ANL, which means it's outputting composite video, whereas like the ColecoVision used the same chip and it output YUV. So this was a very popular off-the-shelf video chip. Let me get a closer shot of it. Bud, what are you destroying now? Oh, you can destroy that. That's fine. There it is. So this was like the world's first off-the-shelf video chip. So normally when you had an old computer like the Atari or the Apple or the Commodore, the thing that really made it unique was, you know, whatever video chip it had, right? And so when they had like an off-the-shelf system like the ColecoVision or the original MSX, it used this chip. So this chip can access up to 16K of video RAM. It can store tiles. It has it has like 32 sprites, only 4 per line, which is not super great. And then, yeah, so this is the RAM attachment. So that's going to be, I'm going to guess, 16K. And what they do is these are like 16K by 1 bit. So it uses column and strobe addressing to connect to these. So you can actually modify. Basically, if you put a flip-flop on the bus, you can make these chips work with modern memory. I'm just going to remove it. I actually have more of these. You notice it had a heatsink. These can get a little warm. I don't think I've seen this in a motherboard before. There's like these spacers. I don't know if they're supposed to keep it straight. I don't know if there's any electrical purpose. It looks like it's just kind of a piece of, or pieces of aluminum. What's this other heat sunk chip? So I will say, most of the parts in this are Texas Instruments, except for there's some Motorola. It's probably either RAM or ROM. I assume this thing has a built-in BASIC along with probably general operating system. See, it's very similar. Well, it's a little less dense, but it's very similar to the Motorola 68000. But I guess this chip never really... It's like, hey, we've got this cool 16-bit processor. How much RAM should we connect to it? How about 512 bytes? Don't you mean K? No, I mean bytes. You know what? I'm betting these Motorola chips are the RAM. There's two of them that are identical. And if it's 16-bit RAM, that means they'd hook up two 8-bit RAM chips in parallel, and you'd have the high and low byte in each chip. Let's look it up. Yeah, if you look on this, you can see it's got the, well, this means it's Motorola. That's what the first letters of most chips mean as the manufacturer, but 6810, so it's going to be like, 68,000 series logic, because, Motorola had their own 6800 line of chips, and of course later on the 68,000 line of chips. And yeah, each one of these is 128 by 8 standard SRAM. So, yeah. So that would only be 128 words of 16-bit RAM. That's not very much at all. Why did they do that? According to Wikipedia, the fount of all knowledge, yeah, 256 bytes scratch pad RAM. So yeah, 128 plus 128, 256. And yeah, I'm sure the reason they've got two of them is so they can act as the high and low byte. I guess we could take a look. The pinout of this RAM is a little unusual. Okay, so this should be address 0. Yep. So the address lines should all tie together. And if there's only 128 locations, that means you only need A0 through A6. And then read and write should also be tied together. Yep. But then the data lines, I'm guessing, are not. Yep, see that? So the data lines are not tied together on the bus, which means for the 16-bit chip, yeah, the lower byte is going to one of the RAMs, and then the higher byte is going to the other RAM. And they also did that with the Sega Master System, which uses basically an evolved version of this chip and is backwards compatible with it. The Sega Master System actually has 16-bit RAM. Again, it has two... what is it? Yes, it has two 8-bit... I'm sorry. Sega Master System has two 8K RAM chips in parallel, and it's actually accessed 16 bits at a time by the processor. So Sega Master System actually had really good graphics. I mean, from a graphics standpoint, it was a lot better than the Nintendo. Quite a bit better. Lot better color density. I can't find a data sheet for that. It's probably a mask ROM of some kind. And this is some sort of logic device, so it could be like a programmable logic device doing a bunch of glue logic operations. Why are these bodge wires twisted like that? That must be the TI way. I guess I could recap this while I'm in here. So another chip here meant for the same family, 9901NL. How much you want to bet that's like audio of some kind? Oh, it's a peripheral interface chip. Okay. So according to the date code on the chips, this thing was built in 82. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the caps, and then, I don't know, these bodge wires, they look stupid. I'm going to make them a little neater. That was another big advantage of Satagram. It had simplified voltage requirements, which was a big thing in general. Like, you had like the Intel 8080 required multiple voltages, whereas the Z80 used only a single 5-volt rail, which made it more palatable for design. I got some axial capacitors in my shipment, so I'm going through and just replacing all of the electrolytic caps on this board. So I got those replaced, so I just need to replace this one, and I think that's about it. I also wrangled the bodge wires a little bit better. Then I'm going to put thermal paste back on these chips. I don't know if I have the proper DIN cable for this. I could cobble together a cord for the audio-video plug. Then we can program in BASIC. What's a completely random song I could sing for no reason? I got it. Look at what happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm on the top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Dun 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 dun. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Dun 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 dun. Let's see if anyone can recognize this one. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. La na 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 na. La da dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Of course, there's no lyrics to that one. Oh yeah, that was dun 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 dun. Key change. Dun 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 dun. I will put some thermal paste back on. I'm going to use Arctic Silver. And then just for lulls, I'm going to use a different 9918 ANL that I just happen to have laying around. I think I bought these from, I don't know. It was one of those things where you buy a bunch of chips from eBay in China, and who knows, maybe it's not real. It probably is. I know that can happen, but oh, it's weird. The pins haven't even been bent before, so I wonder if these are even a pull or just new old stock. Because when you have a new chip, you kind of have to bend the pins down a little bit to fit in the socket. All right, there we go. Today on Linus Tech Tips, putting thermal paste on your ancient video chip. Yeah, what is this chip, like 40 years old now? It belongs in a museum. So do you. I know everyone in the comment section is like, oh no, he's going to start talking about Indiana Jones again. You don't believe me, Dr. Jones? You will become a true believer. Ah yes, who could forget the upside down machine screws with nuts on top RF hold down trick? Way to go, Texas Instruments. But everything we do is the best. Why? Because, didn't you see our name? Oh, Texas Instruments, right? That's right. Texas is the best state in the country of Texas. Don't you mean America? I think you're a long way from New York, son. Can you imagine if there was a Texan vegan atheist CrossFitter? Oh man, they'd be so annoying. I wouldn't, okay, Texan vegan atheist CrossFitter. I suppose maybe Austin that could exist. They'd be like, oh yes, let me tell you about why you're so stupid to believe in God and live in Ohio. Ohio. That's funny. I heard that's a state. Blah, 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 blah. That sounds like something that'd be like on Robot Chicken, like Texan atheist vegan CrossFit. Previously on Texan atheist vegan CrossFitter Chronicles. Hey man, you know how much environment it takes to have a cow? You know, you should really consider becoming vegan. Wait a minute, this... Oh, I think this goes here. What would the CrossFit vegan atheist Texan say? CrossFit vegan atheist Texan. They're so annoying. I mean, I will say this. I like how the computer itself is fairly compact. Even though one of these clips has a nub and the other one doesn't. I just checked my photos. I guess this is how it goes back together. All right. Hopefully this thing still works. Believe it or not, I'm a Texas atheist vegan CrossFitter. I never thought I could be so annoying. Running around telling everyone why I'm the best and so is my state. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just Texas vegan atheist CrossFitter. Gonna hand out some pamphlets saying why Jesus is dumb. Then I will go make a tofu steak Hope I don't burn my thumb. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Believe it or not, I'm a Texas atheist vegan CrossFitter. I never thought I could feel so superior. La da da da, blah blah da da blah. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Gonna pay state income tax. Just kidding, we don't have that here. Gonna go push over some tractor tires and then have a gluten-free beer. Dun 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 dun. Believe it or not, I'm a Texas atheist vegan CrossFitter. I never thought I could feel so free. Blah 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 blah. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just a Texas atheist vegan CrossFitter. Yeah, crap, I don't know where the convoluted interlink piece for the power switch went. Oh, I think this is it, in all of its convoluted glory. Because then you put on this back portion, and then you have to, like, put this in place. Oh, that's not... It's like the switch wasn't close enough to the edge of the case, and they're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? So that was their solution. I mean, what was it, that Sony PlayStation prototype that I fixed? Well, I didn't do that much, just fix the caps, but that also had like a really weird recessed power switch, but it was done very elegantly. I looked in my bucket of DIN connectors, and looks like I have one, so I could make an audio video plug. No wackas. I want you, I need you, but I ain't never gonna love you. But don't be sad, because 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Maybe Texas atheist vegan CrossFitter could actually be a cop. He'd have like a cop show. They'd be like, what happened here? Oh, it's a pretty grisly murder scene. I see. Man, this person might not have died if they did CrossFit and were able to run away from their attacker. Well, actually, they were shot with a bullet. I see. We don't have any gun laws here in Texas, so, I guess if he didn't want to get shot by a bullet, he should have moved someplace else. Yeah, okay. But of course, if he moved someplace else, he'd have to pay state income tax. Unlike in Texas. Right. Do you know if the victim was a meat eater? We don't know that. Because meat eaters are much more likely to die at an early age than people who are responsible and don't eat meat. This guy's heart was just a ticking time bomb anyway. If the bullet hadn't killed him, diabetes would have. So I got an even better tripod from St. Vinny's. It's actually made of nice aluminum. I think it's worth about $100, but it was missing the head, so, of course, 3D printing to the rescue. It looks like it tried to turn on, but then nothing happened. It's probably because it's missing a foot. Oh, I did something fairly dumb. I forgot about the capacitors on the power supply board. That could be a problem. Let me switch this on. Negative 5 volts, probably for the RAM. Positive 12, and then, let me guess, 5? Yes, all right. So the power supply is working. Not getting anything on the scope. I think I might have plugged in the video chip backwards. Oops. Now, there's no mark on here. Of course, all these other chips are going in that direction, so this one probably should too. I'll have to double check the footage. Let's try this again. All right, let's do another test. I'm gonna look at the switch matrix for the keyboard. Oh, okay, there we got pulses, that's good. Double check this. So I was doing this before. No, there it is. Let's do this, let's blow it up a bit. I mean, you've seen this before in other videos I've done, but. Oh, actually, not measurement, sorry. Trigger menu, type, we're gonna look for video, which should be on here. NTSC, source number 1, and boom, got the lock. Pretty cool, huh? Oh yeah, that's your vertical blank. So you have a bunch of off frames, and then you have 3 horizontal lines of just low, and that actually triggers the vertical blank refresh. Okay, well, now that I put the chip in the right way, all right, let's do this thing. Leroy Jenkins, Texas Instruments home computer. Now, see these colors? These are the fixed colors of the TMS 9918, and one of the gimmicks with that chip is that these colors are also meant to look like a gradient if you're using a black and white television. Yeah, that whining is coming from the audio port. All right. 1 for TI Basic, which I assume is built in. You can't list? Why not? Let's see. Where's... Oh, there it is. Control? Nope. How do I go back? Control back? Shift back? You give love a bad name. Oh, finally it took something. Oh, it changed the screen color. Woohoo! Okay. Alpha locks and lowercase. Oh, the lowercase letters are just squished versions of the uppercase letters. Oh, we can't spend any more money on the ROM, so let's just, squish the character set. 1 times 10. Oh, it parsed that as I typed it in. Did you see that pause? Incorrect statement. You're an incorrect statement. I know what to do. I will consult my TI user's reference guide, which I put into this binder. Yeah. Now let's see, table of contents. Random 296. Okay. Randomize 23. Oh, randomize must create the seed. Random number. Okay. Oh, it is a little different. All right, we don't need to put a bracket on it. This keyboard is kind of pathetically small for the era in which this was made. I mean, pretty much every other computer had a more proper keyboard, but this is like bordering on ZX Spectrum type keyboard, but it's a much more expensive computer. Oh, crap. Control back? Function control back? How do I go back? Delete? Control delete. Shift delete. I can't even figure out where the delete key is. They've got these like this delete, insert, erase, clear, begin. Let's see. A tour of the keyboard, section 1, page 5. That would be great because I am lost. How do I go back? Function control 1. Does function control not work? No, it must be working because when I hold it, nothing happens. Maybe alpha lock can't be on? Oh, I am really confused. Look at that. Well, because the thing is, it only has 256 bytes of RAM, which is only twice as much as the Atari 2600 for crying out loud. And the rest of its RAM is the video RAM, but to access that, it has to go for the video processor, which is very slow. Okay, 4, G equals 0, 2, A, shift, print. Oh, it didn't like the spaces? Wow, it won't even store it if it's incorrect. For G equals 0, space, 2, space, A, colon, print, function control, space, semicolon, colon, next space, G. Oh, now it's okay with it. Oh my gosh, this thing is so slow! 16-bit CPU? How can there be a for next error? For G equals 0 to A, print next G. This is the most obtuse basic I think I've ever seen. Does it not allow the next statement to be on the same line as the for statement? Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that super fast, super fast 16-bit processor go. For G equals 0 to A statement. Print a space. Enter. 14. Next G. Oh, for Pete's sake. That was the problem. Oh my gosh. You have 256 bytes, which would be 128 words of 16-bit RAM, which is nothing. I mean, really, that would probably just get you the stack. And then the rest of the RAM you have to share with the video memory, which means the CPU has to do a function call or a port call to the TMS 9918 and say, hey, I would like to read or write this memory location, and then that chip says, okay, here it is. And then you can do sequential reads and writes at a decent speed, but the random access would be really bad because every time you try to access something, you'd have to actually request. You'd have to request the memory from the video chip. So if you had something like the Sega Master System, it worked the same way, but it didn't need. It had its own 8K of RAM that the CPU could use, and the only time it would really access the RAM for the video is when it was changing something. So yeah, that seems like a really crippling design. Although, as we saw, it was 256 bytes of static RAM, which was actually pretty expensive and not super common back in the day. Let's see if I can break out of this. I guess I'd be quit. Huh? Oh, don't tell me I lost my program. I would be so sad. I can't do that. Yep. Play a single tone. Okay. Man, good thing I had this book. I would have been lost without it. And I'm lost without your love. Without you, life's not worth thinking of. You know, this might be the worst basic I've ever used. I've never really messed around with this computer before. I mean, I've seen them at shows. Well, there it is. The TI 994A. We took it apart, looked inside of it, recapped it. It still works. Doesn't seem like it's that great of a computer. This thing makes the ZX Spectrum look like a Cray. Well, if there's any other old computers you'd like to see me fix up, just let me know. But I think for this one, I'll probably just give it away or sell it at the next computer show I go to. If there ever is another computer show, of course. Ha 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 ha. Well, there you go. The Texas Instruments TI 994A. A computer lost in time. Perhaps it was jinxed by Bill Cosby. Who knows? Well, I guess we'll see you in the next video.